Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Lifeway Social Insider video. This week I want to talk about 5 simple steps to getting started using video on social media or online in general. So video is taking the internet world and the social media world by storm. Video is no longer reserved just for YouTube or Vimeo or other video hosting platforms. Video is dominating Facebook, it's dominating Instagram, Twitter, everywhere else, videos everywhere. And sometimes on certain social media platforms like Facebook, there are algorithms in place to benefit those who use video more than other means of content because Facebook wants more video on its own platform. So it's important to be aware of those things, of those trends and things like that. But also, it's important to know how to create good video. If we want to be good stewards of the gifts God has given us, if we want to use our resources well, use our time well, it's important for us to know how to do video well. And so that's why I'm here today to talk about 5 simple steps to get started on video. First, number 1, identify your goals. This is important no matter what you're trying to get started doing, whether you're trying to start a blog or start a podcast or start doing video content. Whatever you're trying to do in content creation, but especially in creating videos, you need to identify your goals. Are you trying to build a fan base on YouTube? Are you trying to provide value for your followers on Instagram? Are you trying to do Facebook Lives and encourage Q&A or other kinds of engagement? You need to understand what your goals are before you start creating video content. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting a lot of your time and perhaps wasting a lot of your audience's time because you don't really know what you're trying to do. You don't really have any set sort of goal or task list or any sort of destination in mind. And so your audience may be as confused as you are. So first is identify your goals. Second is find the right platform. You know, just a minute ago, just a few seconds ago, I listed a few different platforms you could create video on. You can create video on Instagram. You can create video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever it is, you can create video at a number of platforms. So the number one question you have to ask yourself when trying to decide what platform to use, no matter the kind of content you're trying to create, but especially with video, you need to ask yourself, who am I trying to reach? Because YouTube has a very different audience base than Facebook, and Facebook tends to have a little bit different of an audience base than Twitter and even Instagram. So when you're asking yourself and you're kind of thinking about, okay, strategizing, I want to create some video content, try to create on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. A lot of that's going to depend on who you're trying to reach. The 2 most important ones, generally speaking, I would say, this is not for everyone, but generally speaking, I would say the 2 most important platforms for video would be Facebook and YouTube. One is obviously dominated by video, that would be YouTube, and one is getting more and more dominated by video, and that would be Facebook. So first, identify goals. Second, find the right platform. Third, find the right equipment. Use the right equipment. Now look, you do not need a $10,000 video and light setup to do video well. You don't need a super nice DSLR video camera. You don't need a $150 microphone. You don't need all that kind of stuff. When I record Facebook Lives for some of the people that I help with their content, we're using my iPhone 7 Plus, a tripod that costs like $15, a microphone that costs like $50 or $60, and an extension cord which costs like $7. So it doesn't really cost a whole lot to do Facebook Live, and that might even be a little bit over the top. You may not need all that stuff, but that's what we use. For recording these videos, I want them to be a little bit higher quality. I'm putting them on YouTube. I'm hoping they stay around for a while. I use like a $60 or $70 camera that's a little bit better than like a laptop FaceTime camera. And then a microphone that I think is probably like $100 or $110 microphone, but a friend gave it to me because he works in music and had an extra microphone. So I didn't even have to pay for that. But if you want to create more professional video than what you record with an iPhone and use like a lapel mic on, you can go a little bit nicer, but you don't have to. And so I think you shouldn't let equipment keep you from making video content because you don't need this huge, massive professional setup. But you should find the right equipment for what you're trying to do. That may not be expensive, but you do need to find the right equipment because you're probably going to need more than just like your laptop camera. Fourth of 5 steps to start creating video content is really the meat of it. It's the heart of it. Create engaging content. Don't just create this sort of 5-minute Facebook Live or YouTube video where you're just talking about how awesome your book is, or you're trying to convince someone to read a blog post, or you're ranting about some latest hot topic political issue. Usually not a good idea. You might get a lot of views, you might get a lot of reactions, especially on that last one, like some hot topic political issue, but you won't be building a lasting audience. You won't be serving people. So create engaging content. Create videos that people want to like, share, or comment on. Or especially if you're doing like Facebook Live, like Q&A, have a discussion that encourages questions. Ask people to submit questions beforehand. Do whatever you can to create engaging content, not content that people are just going to sit there, watch for 15 seconds, and then leave. Fifth, and finally, test, learn, adapt. That's kind of 3 in 1, but they're all kind of the same thing. Test, learn, adapt. Video and video trends and what works and what doesn't is constantly changing. If I was a good content creator, I'd put captions on all of these videos. I'd upload them to 4 different places, all of these different strategies. I simply haven't made that much time. But no matter what your video strategy is, it always is going to be changing because the environment is constantly changing. 3 years ago, video was not nearly as big a deal today, or then, as it is today. So as you consider creating video content, just know that you're going to have to adapt to changes. Expectations may become... Right now, you can use an iPhone camera and a $50 lapel microphone and make better quality Facebook Live videos than 90% of people out there. But in a year or two, that might not be good enough. You just don't know. So you need to be keeping aware, testing, adapting, learning all you can. And look, I don't expect you guys to know all that stuff. That's why I'm here. That's why Lifeway Social exists. It's my job to stay aware of the latest video trends or other social media trends so that I can say, hey, that's a really good job. Here are some ways you can tweak that to make it even a little bit better. So running through them again, 5 simple steps to start creating video content, which you all should be doing if I haven't guilt-tripped you enough already. 1, identify your goals. 2, find the right platform. 3, use the right equipment. 4, create engaging content. And 5, test, learn, and adapt. Creating good video content is crucial in 2018. You can't ignore it. If I'm coaching you to create a better online platform that's serving more people with whatever your message is, you cannot ignore the impact video will have on your audience, and you must do what you can to take these steps to serve your audience better with video. So I hope that's helpful. I'll see you next week.